Afternoon, James,
Hi
and
there,
good
Clem.
afternoon. Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about the power of human connection, and more specifically, I guess, about how we avoid that dystopian future where AI has taken over everything. It's now able to replace our conversations and replace us as leaders and coaches, essentially rendering us all redundant. So yeah, that's the topic. Yeah, should we get into it, James?
Let's, Clem. Let's. Can I ask a question straight away? That if we are
Yeah.
in this dystopian world where we've been replaced by robots and AI, do we gain any money from this? Are we in a nice place where we're sat in the beach or going snowboarding or something, or is it everyone's in serious trouble?
Well, yeah, who knows? Who knows? I mean, I guess, yeah, an optimistic view might be, of course, that, yeah, AI provides us with a set of tools that then essentially frees up more of our time to both spend on the stuff we enjoy and the stuff, whether that's at work or outside of work. And, we all find ourselves with loads of creative leisure time to kind of do as we wish. I guess the dystopian part for me, though, is what if that doesn't happen? What if it actually just means we have less of that and just also know, yeah, no, we get less value out of life, maybe is the way of putting it.
Yeah, it's an interesting concept, isn't it? You could
Yeah.
definitely take it two ways. I think, yeah, in the first one, my mind's going, "Oh, I could go snowboarding. I've got lots of things, nice things that I want to do." But also part of me is going, well, yeah, I don't have a purpose in the
Yes.
job, and actually, I really enjoy doing what I'm doing, and I love that human interaction with people, and and actually, would you miss all of this? So yeah, it's a bit of a crazy concept, but perhaps not actually that far away, really.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think what led us to kind of this topic was, yeah, talking about how, AI tools and the large language models like ChatGPT, Claude, all of those kind of things, DeepSeek, I think is the other one as well, isn't it? The power of what they can bring now seems to have suddenly kind of come on leaps and bounds recently. And suddenly it seems like they're able to do all sorts of things that perhaps we never thought they would be able to do in the past. And certainly this idea of can they also start to do jobs that previously relied on that human connection, that interaction between two people. There's aspects of that where you think, oh, that already seems like it's happening. But there's aspects I think as well as we'll maybe touch on that they're definitely not at that point yet.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of exciting, scary, and kind of fascinating all at the same time for me.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
I think I've definitely had a lot of conversations recently with senior leaders, business owners, people who are running departments, and pretty much everybody's got AI on the agenda somewhere.
Yep.
Uh,
Mhm.
um, Most of the conversations I've had have been about either optimizing something, increasing productivity. Um, I'm actually, for a disclaimer, I've been involved in some kind of AI recruitment kind of groups and studies, and actually we've got the university doing some work with us at the moment. We use a bit of AI in our business as well, so I've been
Yep.
heavily involved in some of these conversations. But a lot of the conversations, or most of the conversations, don't actually involve people and that human connection piece.
Yep.
And I know we've talked about this previously, and we did a coaching corner session on this. That actually, are as business leaders, are we missing a trick in there?
Yeah, you mean
Um,
missing a trick in the sense that we should be thinking about them in that respect, or more about keeping that focus on people and connections as well as caring about AI in our strategies?
it's a really complex one, isn't it? I think perhaps missing a trick still. So on the human side, so
Yep.
so my thought process on it is that actually there's a lot of noise around AI. A lot of people are seeing it as like the new electricity, and it's this amazing kind of tool that will come and fundamentally shape shape the way that we go forward. And if we don't jump on the bandwagon fairly soon, we'll be left
Hmm.
behind, and other organisations and companies will be taking or stealing a march on us. And to a large degree, I can understand that, and there's possibly a lot of truth in that as well. But I think that when some of these conversations are happening, that it's missing out on the bit that fundamentally, again, this is my opinion, but fundamentally, a company is a collection of people with a purpose. And actually, are we taking the focus? Are people taking the focus away from some of the people centric bit that actually drives a lot of the great stuff in businesses, and actually just looking at like this kind of wonder technology that will be the
Yeah.
savior of humanity type thing?
Yes. Yeah, totally. And I think yeah, there is that potential danger. Yeah, I think the businesses I've worked at where, they've been most effective and where they've been also the most enjoyable, most high performing have generally had people and that connection and that, yeah, the culture that exists in terms of how everybody interacts really kind of as a central part of the focus. I think already there's a tendency for some businesses to kind of focus too much on, the mechanics or the growth or the technology they happen to be using and focus on that more than the people. Certainly for me, I think there is a danger that AI is just exacerbates that. It drives people even more to think, oh, yeah, we need to focus on these tools, this powerful new technology, where actually maybe shifting that focus onto human connection and how we can interact really effectively within our organizations, how we can help everybody to do that and keep those human connections really, for me, is a really interesting and also important thing to do.
Yeah, I agree, and I think so. Again, kind of slightly with a different hat on it. So obviously, I'm a trained coach, professional coach as well, but I have
Yep.
a recruitment business, and in the recruitment business, in the recruitment industry, it's quite an interesting one that actually there's a lot of recruitment technology. They call it rec tech, kind of recruitment technology organizations sprouting up all over the place that are using AI to try and kind of win the war of, of finding candidates quicker, helping source customers, and then actually essentially fill jobs. Um, and it, the reason I say it's interesting is actually fundamentally the recruitment business as a whole is very people centric,
Hmm.
and actually a lot of the tools and companies that are kind of sprouting up actually take away some of that human interaction piece. And
Yep.
if I was a candidate looking for a new job, I don't want to be speaking to AI. I don't want to like be
Yeah.
filling in some platform online. I want to speak to somebody that I trust who can help fundamentally understand my requirement, match it with a good customer like organization, good job, the
Yep.
kind of culture that I would want. And so it's and this must be happening all over,
Yeah.
all over different industries as well. And again, fundamentally, my opinion in the way that we run our business is that AI and automation has definitely got a place. It's got a place for kind of taking over the mundane, repeatable tasks that arguably can be done better than a human could do,
Yep.
and then that maximizes the time that we can spend on human interactions and connections with people. It's actually the biggest part of the job is getting out and speaking to people and spending time with them and actually truly understanding things. Uh, so that's maybe just a bit of my kind of take on it from a slightly different angle.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, you've made me think there actually. Obviously, yeah, my professional coaching business, a lot of what I maybe find people are interested in is what are the tools, what are the frameworks that you're going to be able to bring as a coach to help me kind of think through things. Um, and actually, maybe AI is starting to democratize that a little bit more. It's easier to find them, it's quick to get access to some thinking frameworks that you can get through, yeah, by asking one of those AI type tools and things, and that'll start to make those things more widespread, perhaps. But actually, there's an angle to say that's a really good thing because I think a lot of often the real value we get is when we get past those kind of tools and we actually have a really good reflective conversation where we're able to kind of, as a coach, work with somebody to help them think about things from a different way, perhaps feel heard in a way they've not been before, and that maybe reveals something to them that they've never actually kind of actually given much thinking time to before.
Yeah.
That for me is partly what I enjoy about coaching, but also where the real benefit is, rather than kind of okay, let's go through a 5-step process to do this thing.
Well, exactly, and I really agree with you on this. So, and just listening to you made me really think about the fact that data is so available now, right? So when I grew up, and probably
Yep.
yourself
So
as well, like I was, the internet kind of came in while I was growing up, right? So
absolutely. Yeah.
so getting access to these kind of frameworks and stuff was really hard, and so actually there was value in knowledge, and so like knowledge was power a little bit.
Yep.
These days, knowledge isn't power because you can go in ChatGPT, you can go on Google, you can find out pretty much anything you want to if you ask the right question really quickly.
Yep.
So the value for me is in the implementation of these things. So the reason I would want to come to you as a coach, for example, Clem, is the chemistry we'd have together, the blend of challenge and support that you would give me, the
Yep.
the way that you would perhaps kind of help me work through a problem. And you'd understand if I was maybe struggling with something, and then you'd change the way that you were talking about it. There's so
Yep.
many different kind of nuances to it that you get with somebody who has that kind of experience in that field. And also, I like to do it face to face.
Yep.
I like to
Yep.
get out of the house. I like to go and see people. So yeah, it's a really interesting concept. But I think I don't know. I heard this from somewhere else, so I'm stealing it from someone. I can't remember who it was, but the analogy was a little bit that when kind of the Industrial Revolution came in, and like Henry Ford obviously started making the production line for for cars. It's famous, and it revolutionized the way that cars were made, and it completely changed everything. And that is an automated process. And now the majority of cars are automated and made in that type of process. However, at the very top end, like your Bentleys, your Rolls Royces, they're still made largely by hand because there's an expertise and craft kind of area to it.
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
do wonder whether AI will kind of have this type of polarizing thing. So it may be that part of the mass market will end up being like this kind of automated AI piece. And that might be for some of the coaching piece, and it might be kind of
Mhm.
a little bit more low end. And people pay, I don't know, subscription type model or what have you. But at the high end, if you want a really bespoke, expert, face-to-face piece, well, that will maybe end up costing you a lot more because it's your expert craftsperson who's spent years honing their skills in that particular area. And I wonder I don't know, but I wonder whether it will
Yeah.
kind
Yeah.
of go that way a little bit.
Yeah. It's an interesting take. Yeah. So how that's kind of maybe also what I'm wondering there is, there's perhaps a sort of raising the bar across a whole range of people by providing them with access to those kind of coaching tools and techniques, so it's kind of lifting up the sort of the base level of skill and knowledge that lots of people have based on that easy access to that kind of thing. But then there's still that benefit from actually real deep expertise and a real focus on that, which is still required and is still kind of more powerful. But actually, we've kind of we've made everybody we've just lifted the bar perhaps on that kind of base level that everybody has access to
I
and
think,
bring. Well,
yeah, I think so. And just listening to you there as well, a thought's kind of sprung into my mind as well. I think with access to data um, through through chat, Google, whatever you want. So all got access to data. More and more people know the theory of what they should be doing,
mhm.
but the theory isn't the hard bit. The theory is the
Right.
implementation.
Yeah.
Sorry, the hard bit's the implementation, not the theory. The hard bit is the implementation and actually doing it. And actually, what one thing that a good coach, manager, leader does is actually help somebody. actually take that theory and apply it in and actually become better and have some transformational kind of progress in things.
Yeah.
You know, it's for I used this analogy the other day and something else, but it's very similar. It's like if you want to go and run a marathon, you can download a like a training
Training
plan.
plan. Yep.
Yeah, I can pop it into Google, download my training plan. I've got it in, I don't know, 15 seconds, right? There you go. So I know what I need to do to be able to run a marathon. That
Yep.
doesn't mean I can run a marathon. I then need to go and put all that hard work in for like 6, 8, 12 months. I did one years ago. It was really hard. So probably a bit longer. Um, so just because you know what to do doesn't mean that you can actually do it. And I think again, going back to some of the AI and automation piece, especially if you're talking around coaching piece, and if you're using an AI coach, and it's helping you work through a problem and it's telling you to do certain things, the person who's being coached still needs to actually go and be accountable and do it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and is there a way of actually checking that? And are they holding that person accountable to it? Are they blending the support and challenge with it? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd guess no. And I think it's definitely, will we get there? Maybe, but I'm not sure at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
I don't know how that's kind of resonating with you. Um,
I mean, the question that's come into my head there is also about do we want to get there? I think I remember quite some time ago now reading an article that kind of highlighted that, yeah, AI is developing in all these different areas, but actually where it starts to kind of move into becoming more creative, producing art, producing music, literature. Maybe I'd add to that list where it's kind of, simulating human connection. Do we actually want it to do that? They really, if AI takes away all that mundane stuff, if it could do all my business admin, that'd be fantastic. But actually, I don't really want it to take away the thing that as a human I really enjoy doing. So how can we use it as a tool to kind of uh, you know, support us, not replace the bits that we're actually really doing. That's what came up for me though when you kind of talked about that is even if it
yeah,
gets that powerful, it's not something that I'm thinking I really want it to be able to do that.
no, and I personally don't as well, but I do wonder whether future generations may well change on that. And
Yeah,
certainly,
maybe. Yeah.
again, I've heard, I've not tried this out. I am married, but I have heard that you can have like AI girlfriends and like AI and this is a thing, and people are actually using it, and like I just don't know where it's going to go and
Yeah.
what will actually happen in the future. And just because you and I, we like the human connection piece and we want to do that. You know, are we a dying breed, Clem? I don't
Yeah, yeah.
know.
Well, again, you bring it, we opened with a dystopian kind of thought. Yeah, of course, there's plenty of films and plenty of books being written about exactly that kind of thing. And yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? What the future generations think about that sort of thing.
Yeah, it'd be good. Well, we can't predict it, so we'll just have to see what happens, won't we?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
well, listen, great chatting to you as ever. I'm sure I'll see you on one of these soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, James. Enjoyed it as ever.